Hello everyone and welcome to this learning session during which we'll talk about what makes HubSpot a great fit not just for small businesses but also for mid-sized and enterprise companies. I'm Clem, head of marketing here at Advanced B2B, so I guess I'm the madman doing marketing in a house of marketer, and I'm joined today by Mikko.
Hi, my name is Mikko. I'm HubSpot lead at Advanced B2B, so my work is basically to help our customers fix their business bottlenecks with the help of CRMs and marketing technology, and also help them to get the most out of their HubSpot investments.
A bit about Advanced B2B quickly before we dive in. So Advanced B2B is a strategic marketing and HubSpot partner for B2B companies seeking growth through marketing. So the agency was founded in 2014. We are headquartered here in Helsinki, but also have offices in Malaga and people in 7 countries. We are a home for 40 employees and a home for over 10 nationalities, which makes us pretty proud. I am myself from France, and we have also customers from Finland, the UK, Estonia, Denmark, Netherlands, Switzerland, Sweden, the US, and I'm definitely forgetting some countries here. Something we're really happy about also and proud about is the average partnership duration, which exceeds 3.5 years. And our longest ongoing relationship exceeds 9 years. And as you can see here on the title of the slide, we are a HubSpot Diamond partner with actually a rating of 4.9 out of 5. And I think it's about 4.9 out of 40 reviews or 40 plus reviews. So that must mean something. And we're also a silver partner, which has to do with integrations, and HubSpot. And Mikko will let you know a little bit more about this in a couple of minutes. Now, the HubSpot things we'll do, as the visuals kind of suggest here, we'll do anything as long as it does not involve fixing your printer. We have our own issues with our Office printer, and I'm pretty sure that you do too. But when it comes to HubSpot, essentially we'll do everything from implementation of the platform and onboarding your teams. We can work on custom integrations. We can also build HubSpot websites, and not just from a technical perspective, but also we'll work on the strategy and to make sure that the website actually carries your business and grows with it. We can conduct HubSpot audit also to ensure that you make the best use out of the platform and the tools. And we're also here with, daily development of the platform and making sure that you use it the right way and get most out of it. And finally, we can also do some overall Martech ecosystem audits to analyze all of the tools that you're using and also how HubSpot fits in the equation. And essentially our role here is to maybe try to connect everything together to ensure that you have a clear data flow you can trust through HubSpot. Now, today we'll talk about, first I'll cover what you'll get from this session and why you should stick around until the end. And then Mikko will walk you through basically what HubSpot is and what it helps solving. And then we'll talk about a couple of use cases: integrations, automations, and sales operations. Now, what you'll get from this session, as I said, Mikko will give you a brief breakdown of HubSpot and how it works. He'll talk also about what makes HubSpot different, and we'll then provide a couple of concrete ideas based on the use cases as just mentioned to help you improve your Martech ecosystem, or just give you ideas in general about what could be. And hopefully you'll go home with a good business case to convince your peers or your boss that HubSpot could be a good fit for you. Hopefully you won't be sleeping by the end of the half hour we have together.
Today we are focusing on 3 use cases, but first let's briefly see in general what are the things that HubSpot as a platform helps you solve. Number 1, ROI. You see some figures there: 71% increase in inbound leads, 91% increase in deals closed. Now these are actual customer averages from HubSpot. So HubSpot data from 2019 to 2024 for companies with 200 plus employees, B2B companies in Europe. And common with these customers is that they are using either Marketing Hub Pro or Enterprise and Sales Hub Pro or Enterprise. So pretty good ROI, I think. Also, I think that the total cost of ownership of HubSpot is fairly reasonable. And with the total cost of investment, I mean all the things related to owning a CRM system, like implementation, software license costs, maintenance, support, and then the actual ability to use the CRM. I think those are pretty good with HubSpot. As a takeaway from this webinar, you'll get our business case calculator in the follow-up email, and you can use that, for example, to make comparison with your existing CRM in terms of the ROI. Point number 2, satisfaction. Well, the Magic Quadrant is a method by Gartner. It's basically helping businesses to evaluate technology providers based on their strengths and weaknesses. HubSpot is ranked there number 1 for B2B marketing automation platforms. G2, that's a review platform where actually the actual users are reviewing different software, including CRMs and marketing automations. HubSpot has been ranked number 1 by the users in G2. And then finally, something that HubSpot helps you solve is basically the overall complexity of tech stacks. And typically the tech stacks are pretty complex. You have all dozens of different tools which may not be connected. And that means that you don't have the unified data that is easy to use across your tools. And this is where HubSpot, I think, is a pretty great system, because it offers all these hubs that you can use to run all your customer-facing processes. It's also fairly simple to maintain. You don't need a developer to scale it to your changing business needs, but still you have all the enterprise features there. And since HubSpot is really built from the ground up on the same unified data source, i.e. the CRM, you can more easily manage the entire customer journey better, because you can connect all the touch points to HubSpot. And when speaking of customer journey, we still tend to see that as a linear process, but it's nothing like that in the reality. I mean, it's very complex. It's very different to different customers. You have all these touch points, which increasingly are digital, also in B2B. And if you don't have the system where you can connect all these dots, you will have a broken customer experience. And this is what HubSpot is solving really well. You can connect all these touch points across the entire customer journey into one platform, use the data across all these touch points, and to provide better customer experience. This is what HubSpot is in the big scale. So like I said, it's fairly easy to scale. You have all these different hubs. You don't have to buy all of them. You just take the one you need, and then you can scale that with different subscription levels as well.
And if you have questions about the different HubSpot hubs, of course, you can reach out. We will have our contact details also at the end of the presentation. But you probably gathered that from the amount of hubs also HubSpot has, but it comes with a lot of use cases and a ton of unique selling points. So at this point, maybe looking at maybe this slide, it might be more like, why not to choose a HubSpot? And of course, we could have talked about, what makes it a great CRM, or how easy it is to customize, or how great the support can be from HubSpot, or how it supports multi-brand as well. But as we briefly mentioned in the introduction, we'll talk about automations, integration, and sales enablement, because it's also something that all companies need and seek from their ecosystem.
Let's jump to our first use case, which is integrations. So basically, when you do integrations in HubSpot, you have, in a big picture, you have two methods. Either you can use the pre-built native integrations from the HubSpot app marketplace on there, or then you can use the API. And the app marketplace, you can access that directly from HubSpot. You have like 2,000 applications and increasing all the time across different categories. These are the type of applications that you can install yourself. You don't need an IT guy to do this for you. And then you can also maintain these integrations and applications from HubSpot directly. If you are in enterprise business, then probably you have your business applications, you have your ERPs and stuff. It could be that there's no native connector, then you have to go with the API. There's a really good API documentation from HubSpot. We prefer in these cases to use an iPaaS solution called Make. It has also really good connectors, including HubSpot CRM, including many other tools. that you can then use to basically connect anything. Okay, we have one use case here. It's a custom ERP integration for a professional services consulting company located in Europe with 180 employees and 73 million revenue. And the case with this one is that the customer was looking for better data quality and to eliminate manual work. This was a company that was acquired several different companies, and that led to them having several different systems and also processes which were not aligned. So there were a lot of manual work here and there, and also inconsistent data, because the data was not flowing between the systems and people had to do manual updates if they remembered to do so. And this company chose HubSpot CRM, and they wanted to get rid of some of these manual processes by integrating the ERP system with HubSpot. And their ERP system was called Synode. Okay, as a solution, we started from mapping their use cases, like what are the cases that the integration is solving in their processes. And then we identified a bunch of use cases. For example, when they are creating a new deal in HubSpot, we wanted to open a new project in the ERP. And also, if the deal is deleted from HubSpot, delete that from the ERP as well. On the other way, also, like if there is a new project created in Synode, which is the ERP, then we wanted to create a custom object in HubSpot CRM. And likewise, if someone is moving the project in the ERP pipeline, we wanted to reflect these changes also to HubSpot CRM. So we started by these use cases, then we made an integration plan covering the ERD, so the entity relationship diagram, where we identified which objects in both of these systems would need to be connected with each other. If it's like a one-way, two-way integration, what is the master source, and so on. And then we finally map the data between the systems, like the individual data fields that we need to integrate. And for this integration, there was no native application, so we used Make. You might be able to see in the small screenshot the HubSpot logos, but that represents that there was these ready-made like endpoints with HubSpot APIs. So that helped us a little bit in doing this custom integration with Make. As a result, this integration helped them to remove the manual work and gave them a smooth way to make sure that the HubSpot deals and the Synode projects are connected, and the deals in HubSpot can guide the project management process in the CRM. Few takeaways from my side. So if you're planning integrations, just wanted to highlight a few things to keep in mind. Already said this, but start with the use case and the problem first. This might sound obvious, but what I mean, like knowing the use case helps you understand the basic things about the integration logic, like how frequently it should run, what is the master source, is it two-way, one-way, etc., etc. Always prefer the native integration when possible. This is my advice. There are a lot of HubSpot certified apps in the app marketplace, which means that you will also get better support for these integrations if you need. So when you are choosing a CRM platform, it's wise to think already how well the CRM will fit into your existing tech stack, and will it have native connectors, because it is likely and very likely that you will need some integrations with your CRM. And if you don't have a native integration, then a system like iPaaS with ready connectors, Make iPaaS is really a good option. Finally, my third takeaway around integrations: have a clear maintenance policy. Integrations, of course, need to be monitored all the time. Native integrations, like I said, you can maintained directly from HubSpot, but have a clear process with who owns the integrations and what actions they should do on a regular basis, like weekly, monthly, because there will always be need to maintain. New fields are created in the systems and so on. So this needs to be maintained and updated all the time. All right, that was our first use case, and then we are jumping to the next one, which is marketing automation and the capabilities that HubSpot can offer there. Like I mentioned, HubSpot is the leader in B2B marketing automation. It's very robust tool. You have a lot of good templates that you can start creating your automations. There's a tiny screenshot of one automation with Slack icons, which means that you can easily connect the HubSpot workflows to your like a background processes and notifications, for example, to the users via Slack or something like this. And it's also, since it's connected to the CRM, it's very easy to do the segmenting and segment the workflows to your contact base quite easily.
So we have one, again, concrete use case to present here for marketing automation. So this one is not going to be rocket science, but then again, it's not something that would be possible without the right tooling. And a bit of the let's say like backstory for this use case, we were discussing with Mikko, what should we present here? And we were struggling between maybe presenting something a bit more complex and that would maybe have like, let's say like life quality improvements, but not necessarily a big business impact, or maybe something a bit more simple, even though simple is not necessarily the right wording here, but also that has a big business impact, and we chose the latter. So this one is about what we call the reactivating program for an enterprise company operating in Europe with a fairly high touch sales model and fairly long sales process as well, like thing like 3 to 6 months in terms of like minimum type of thing. So the situation was that many marketing teams, our challenge here was like essentially to bring relevant leads to the sales team and help them build the pipeline through marketing operations. And again, like many companies, they also had a growing amount of lost deals or inactive contacts going on their CRM, which leads to a couple of issues. First, that's the more people you have on your CRM, that can of course lead to some cost, but at the same time is also a bit of a health issue of the CRM. It's not necessarily a good practice to have a lot of inactive contacts here. So we were faced with a couple of choices. The first one was essentially to just delete those people, also like to align with GDPR requirements, because even though there is legitimate interest to keep inactive contacts on your CRM, eventually that's the case and you need to get rid of them in a sense. Or option 2 was to try to contact them again, because there is a lot of value in this. First, they already knew the company, they had heard about the company. They were not maybe showing interest at the moment, but they knew about it. So that's always cheaper to contact this type of contacts. And this is what we decided to do, to reach back to people who had heard of the company and were relevant to the company. So to make a long story short, what we did is that we built a nurturing program for this audience. And to walk you through the process itself, so essentially what we did is that first we sat down with the sales team to understand, okay, should we talk, like who should we talk to? What type of segments should we consider here? But also how should we try to reactivate them? What type of content should we push their way to make them tick in a sense? So then we proceeded to segment the audience based on those discussions and selected content to push their way to reactivate them. And luckily, we actually had conducted a content audit a couple of weeks before starting to work on this project. Coincidence, maybe not. So we basically had everything we needed. We had a good understanding of the content we had and the content we needed to create to then talk to those different segments at different stage of their maturity or issues they may have had in the past. We then drafted the emails, which was a very lengthy bit, as you can imagine, because there were quite a few segments. And then, if my memory serves, I think we had like 7 to 10 emails in the flows per segment. We then crafted the nurturing workflows on HubSpot, pressed live, and waited. So as I said earlier, the sales process was quite lengthy, so nothing happened necessarily in the first couple of weeks or even the first couple of months. So now the numbers you see on the screen are basically the state of the program a year after we started it. So 15 contacts reactivated. In the grand scheme of things, maybe that doesn't look like that many in a sense, but consider that this program essentially was running on its own. So we considered that a success. It was about 1% of those contacts reactivating from, again, people who were inactive to begin with. And that led to conversations that led to over 3 million in new pipeline generation, and over 200,000 euros in closed won revenue within a year from this reactivation program. So what I want you to take home from this, again, as I said, it is not rocket science, but it works. And the thing is that HubSpot creates the conditions for you to work with data pools that you can trust over different functions, so over marketing, sales, customer success, or whoever else is involved, of course, in your HubSpot data. What we tried to do here is that, of course, we tried to provide value at each touch point, and this was extremely important, especially because those people were inactive and not showing interest anymore in the company. So what we did is that we carefully selected the content, and we also used HubSpot's personalization features to ensure that each touch point also was as personalized as possible, to meet the let's say the interest of whoever was in front of it. And finally, and that's basically the reason why I'm standing here to tell you about this, because we were able to track and measure everything we did, because HubSpot basically allows you to measure and understand the impact of everything you do down to the value or the monetary attribution of a single email. And that, for instance, told us that at different stages of the nurturing flow, specific emails were maybe underperforming, so we updated them, and some were overperforming, so we definitely let them run. But yeah, so that's that story in short, and feel free to ask questions if you have any.
Next, we jump to our third use case, which is running sales operations with HubSpot. One of the best things I think with HubSpot is that you can use it to log your sales activities without actually going to the CRM at all. So you can integrate HubSpot with your daily tools like emails, calendars, mobile, and so on. And these are the type of examples of the touch points that I mentioned earlier. This really helps you collect the data from your customers' interactions and help you get a good 360 view over your customers. Also in HubSpot, you have dedicated workspaces for sales reps and customer success. So when you go there, you start your day, you see the things that you need to focus on in one place. And I know that this is fairly simple stuff, and many of the CRMs have these features. But with CRMs, I think it's always a bit of a fine line between features and usability. And the moment you have a bit over customized CRM, you start to sacrifice the usability pretty fast. And this is what you saw in the G2 reviews. I think that this part HubSpot has handled pretty well. I came across with this study from Gartner explaining or highlighting why the CRM technologies are not adopted by the users. Well, not surprisingly, number one reason, poor system usability there. Okay, let's jump to our final concrete use case, which is redefining a sales process for a group and also for 5 BUs of a company that is operating in the ICT cybersecurity field in Europe, 400 employees and 85 million revenue. Okay, the challenges and the starting point was that they were suffering a bit of a low adoption of the CRM due to different sales teams and business units having their own sales processes. And that led to them having difficulties to manage and understand their sales performance and to see their key sales metrics. And the sales data was not accurate due to mixed process and low adoption. So what we did together with this customer, we basically we designed a new sales process to remove the overlap between the BUs and to streamline the sales process. Then they had a specific requirement, and they wanted to do cross-sell. So what we did is that we set up a product library in HubSpot with all their services and products, and that helped them to cross-sell the services from different BUs within a one sales opportunity. So have one opportunity, mix the services, and get the revenue allocated to the correct business units. And then that helped them to first of all get the right data into the CRM and have the accurate data, and from that do the group level and BU specific dashboards and reporting in order for them to see the performance. And always good to remember in these type of operations, if you take new CRM or if you design a new process such as the sales process, it requires a lot of trainings. It's a change process. So we provided a lot of trainings, onboardings to different roles, and then of course long-term support to get them onboarded with the new process. And the results are basically better visibility on the group level, on the BU level, around their sales performance, which they didn't have previously, and this is accurate and real time in HubSpot. My key takeaways about, let's say, planning a new process such as sales process in HubSpot: put the people first. Put the people first and focus on how the CRM can handle their use cases. And it's really important to pay attention to the usability and understand what are the daily use cases your users are doing to make sure that the CRM is actually helping to solve that. That will help you get faster time to value with your investment. And I think that too often companies think and approach the CRMs like a feature first. We must have this and that feature. That's of course important, and the CRMs must support your needs. But many CRMs have pretty good core features and capabilities. But CRM is not an IT project. That's not the way to approach a CRM project at all. It's a business project, and it's a change project. Or change process. So pay attention to the change management. For example, with this customer, we set up a sandbox environment where we first tested out these processes with the pilot group, and we heard them feedback, then we iterated until we were happy before rolling this out to the entire organization. And my final point here is the support and improvement, continuous improvement. You have 24/7 chat in HubSpot, email support, phone support. You have the knowledge base, you have the learning resources with HubSpot Academy, and then you have the partner network like Advanced B2B, where we can help you do the implementation and take care of the long-term development.
All right, well, we've been now mumbling for about 25 minutes-ish, but of course what matters is really what our customers say, because we could tell you all day that we are amazing and that HubSpot is something we do. But, and I'm not going to specifically read those quotes here, and we'll send the material your way so you can also review that yourself. But essentially what our customers get from us is that they're able to run more efficient sales operations. They are getting help when it comes to, as it says here, pimping the hell out of their CRM and, creating lead magnets, for instance. We're able to provide high level service of implementation or overall CRM customization. And as Mikko just said, we're also able to provide training sessions for whoever is using the platform, and just to make sure that you're using it the right way and get as much value as you can from it. You can, of course, also go to our website and check our customer stories and specifically our HubSpot cases. So you can go to advancedb2b.com/HubSpot cases, and you'll have essentially our latest HubSpot project, which, we tell you a little bit about what we can do and know how to do. Now, if you have questions, of course, please shoot. We'll be happy to answer. And in any case, you can also reach back to us via email if you want to, or on LinkedIn. You can find us fairly easily. And of course, that would be amazing to count you, if you're not there yet, as an Advanced Insider, which is our community, marketing community of over, I think, 2,500 marketers at the moment. So welcome to join. But yeah, let's see if you have questions. Does HubSpot has any capabilities in terms of data enrichment, either integrations or built-in? I'm sending that one your way, Mikko.
Okay, so data enrichment in terms of like updating the contacts and companies and so on. HubSpot does have good integrations. For example, Vino is pretty common. That is integrated with HubSpot. But it does also have built-in capabilities through the Clearbit acquisition some time ago. So Breeze is HubSpot's data enrichment service that you can use to enrich the contacts and the companies in your CRM.
What are the differences between HubSpot, HS, I assume HubSpot, and WP, I assume WordPress, as website platforms?
Oh, this is interesting. We didn't touch the websites that much, but from the technical point of view, I mean, HubSpot has the hosting, all the security updates included in the package. I mean, you can't even do the security updates. That's fully taken care of by HubSpot. So it, in a sense, it's like a safe and easy system to manage. And then, of course, the ability to connect the website to the CRM. So basically you can use the CRM data to customize your website experience. And then you can, the other way around, you can take what's happening at the website. You can, for example, use that to trigger a workflow. So those would be the main differences, I think.
Can you give a couple of examples for complex automations? Also sending that one your way.
Okay. Well, complexity is probably when you add different applications to your automations. For example, we've been creating something like a user can go to a website and then they can start a free demo process, for example, from there. And we have automations then creating the demo environment in the customer's application and handling the onboarding, sending the credentials and all this. So this is technically, this is fairly complex. You have to do some APIs and connect to different systems, as an example.
Well, I guess this is it. Well, thank you so much for attending this session. Hope you got a thing or two to bring home and maybe like either improve your HubSpot ecosystem if you're already using HubSpot, or trying maybe to build a use case or like a business case to start using HubSpot. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you.